When I was in ninth grade, my father came home on the first night of Hanukkah with these 3 little gift bags. And people had been swishing around and, like whispering and taking notes and then hiding the notes. People being my mother and my mother's friends. And my mother was cooking, walking around the kitchen with a telephone on her ear, a long cord. This is a million years ago. And my father came home and everything got really silent. We said the blessings for the first night of Hanukkah. And we sat down at the dinner table. My mom looked at my dad. My dad looked back at my mom. And my dad said, "Girls, I have cancer. We're going to get the best treatment in the world, and we're going to beat this thing." And I started asking all these questions. And my mom said, "You'll get answers when we have answers. Right now, let's just have dinner." We weren't allowed to leave the dinner table till my mom was done. She ate very slowly, very slowly. And when I left and I went to my room, my father brought me my little bag, which had a journal in it. And he said to me, "Cancer is a gift. You're going to be unwrapping it for the rest of your life. We don't know what's going to happen. We can't know what's going to happen. But if you write something every day, you'll learn from it." 2 years and 3 months later, it's Friday, and it's been a week of he's just tremendously sick. He has a rash on the right side of his face. His legs are really, like, they're both skinny and bloated. It's hard to explain, but and he could barely walk. And he sat in the same chair in the living room all day. I'd come home at lunch, I'd get him a little lunch, I'd take him to the bathroom, and then he'd just sit. His nurse got a migraine headache that week and never came to work that week. The neighbor ladies would take care of him in shifts. And when I came home from school, it was my shift. And I dropped my backpack on the kitchen table, and I hear this high, squeaky voice, Carol, come. I have something really, really important to tell you." It was a week of him having, like, really important things to tell me. I'm like, yeah, Dad, what is it today? And he said, "Sit on the couch." And the couch smelled like my mother's cigarettes. He's like, "I can see it. You're going to do something in the world. You're going to create something in the world that people have never seen before. But it's going to take a long time to get there. So you have to learn to be patient." And then he said, "If I don't finish this book I'm writing about myself, I want you to take it up and write it as your book." And I tried many times to finish this book that was about him and about me and about this thing I was supposed to give to the world. But in 2008, 3 times in 2 days, it came to me that storytelling was the thing. And that teaching people storytelling, teaching myself, teaching other people, that was something that would help the world, help individuals and small groups and communities to heal from things, unavoidable tragedies, and just to be a little bit more able to live with them by being able to talk about them. And that's when I started studying storytelling, and I started telling my stories out loud, and I started teaching storytelling, at first to high school and college students, and during COVID, more and more to adult entrepreneurs. The first thing I did, and I did it with a storytelling company called Narrative, was created a curriculum to take into high schools to help students advocate for themselves in the college and career process. College essays, job interviews, and between 2008 and 2021, we worked with more than 250,000 students around the world, just helping them find the stories that had shaped who they are, and to use this really simple method, the Moments Method, that we had created to share those stories in the college and career process. There are a couple metrics we used to, measure our success. One was 89% of students we worked with improved their writing. Like, this was double-blind study before and after essays. And then just students' experience of what our work with them was like. 94% said that Story 2 had improved their speaking and writing confidence, and that they'd learned skills. 97% learned skills they could use immediately. This is, like, important for teaching, because if you learn something you're going to use, you'll use it. It's like learning tennis, right? You learn it, you can practice it. If you haven't learned it, you can't practice it. And then during COVID, several of my friends, colleagues said, use storytelling to help people process what's going on. There's a lot that we can't control. There's a lot we can't know. There's a lot of pain and grief. Use storytelling to help people get through this. And that's where Storyhood was born, was these small groups of 8 people to once a week. Everybody got the same amount of time. Rule of the least spoken. If you're a person who speaks a lot, speak less. If you're a person who speaks a little, speak up. And no judgments, no criticisms, no interpretations, no shame, no blame, no fixing. Nothing's wrong. Just storytelling. And if you respond to someone's story, you ask them more questions to bring out more of their story. And it was really quite magical. 100% of the people who've participated in those small group, between 8 and 16 people, pods of Storyhood, every single one of those people said that Storyhood improved their sense of community. Everything I'm doing now is to build intersectional communities through storytelling.